Welcome to Mrs. Peach Thrifty Living. I'm so happy you're here today. Today you're going to get two welcomes. Today is New to Me, hosted by Kimmy at Kimmy's Kitchen and More. You can just type in hashtag new and then the letter 2 and me, and you can see what several people are doing. Everybody's doing something different. With me today, it's A Glimpse in My Life, episode number 15. It's going to be in my playlist. If you haven't watched the others, be sure and go back and check them out. Why are you putting this in a New to Me? Well, when you get to the end of my story today, it's basically my life story, you'll see New to Me. There's a lot of new beginnings, so check it out and stay tuned. And enjoy it and come back every time. God bless you. Welcome to Mrs. Peach Thrifty Living. I'm so happy you're here today. And today is episode 15 of A Glimpse of My Life. I wanted to film outside, but it was just a little too breezy. My hair was blowing and it's a little noisy out there, so this is going to be my little table today. I'm getting ready to post a picture of my making a pocket pillow. This that I've covered. I showed you how to make these. This one's made with just a towel, an older towel, and it makes a handy little desk or whatever you want to use it for. You can go back in my playlist and check out A Glimpse in My Life, and you can watch this whole series. This is episode 15, and this is probably the most dreaded episode that I will probably make. I want to be many people that are still living. Check a few people that might watch this. In my last video, I told you about that we began making trips up to Northern California to fill in for a church that needed a pastor, and it was near Eureka, so it was near the ocean, and it's very foggy there. To me, I know a lot of people live up that way, and they love it. You either love it or hate it. I like the sunshine. Just bring on the sunshine for me, and I'm a pretty happy camper. They needed a pastor, and after a few weeks of us going up, they voted us in as pastor. This time they had a parsonage for us to live in, which was nice. It was next door to the church, so it's handy going in and out. And you know, you would think that you would have an open door, people coming in and out of your house, but it didn't seem to be the case. People would come from time to time, but it was your home and very comfortable. We got settled in there, and the kids got settled back in school at another school, and I'm referring to my notes because I wrote them out. I asked Gordon a couple questions about some of the things he remembered, and here we go on that. Gail wasn't old enough to hold a regular job down. She may have done some babysitting, and I don't even remember that part. Gordon got on at McDonald's. He worked at the McDonald's in our last place, and so it was pretty easy for him to get on there. In the summer, then he went and it was out of town, and he worked at a water well drilling place, and he stayed in an abandoned sawmill. That was quite an adventure for like 17 at that time, and he worked there, and I remember him talking about heating a can of something with a steno, one of those little steno burners. I don't remember how he got back and forth, but he made it one way or another. I taught missionettes again, and we enjoyed our members very much so. There were some wonderful people there, and in fact my aunt and uncle lived there also, so we got to be with my aunt and uncle more, and some of my cousins up there. That was very nice to be able to do. And we continued to sing in church, was very involved in the music. We sang trios, and hubby preached, and I must say he was a very good preacher. his sermons, he would preach on a subject from the Bible, and it was always he'd add some little stories in it, you know, that would go along with it, and he would keep your attention very well, and just very good. They had an organ there, and I played the organ some. Gail played the piano, and there was another girl that played quite often too. There is where my hubby perfected his fried chicken and his pancakes. Of course, you know, he got the credit for it. We found it in my cookbook, my Betty Crocker cookbook, and it was, you know, of course, adjusted this and adjusted that, like you always do on a recipe. And pretty soon he was making the best fried chicken. Till his end, he was known for his fried chicken. And then he'd make really good pancakes. And really, the main thing that made those pancakes so good was you would beat the egg whites and fold them into the rest of your batter. And that makes for a really light pancake. If you haven't tried it, you might want to try it. My husband was always either on a diet or should be on a diet. He went up and down in his weight, not just total obese, but way heavier than he should be. And there he developed hypoglycemia. I always made iced tea. It was part of because I made biscuits and gravy and all those good things, which is not good on a diet. But you might want to go back and watch my short on making iced tea. It's a great saving. In fact, you can go back and watch quite a few of my shorts because I've got all kinds of things. As time went on, you can remember in my last video, I said things were getting ready to change, and they were. Things were getting harder between my hubby and myself. We'd always had our ups and downs, many of them, but we never had our ins and outs. You know, we'd somehow work it out, and we would make it. You know, God helps you a lot all the way through all these kind of things. But those ins and outs and ups and downs, I didn't realize that this time things was going to be harder than they ever were before. I've said before that when somebody is trying to do something for the Lord and they're effective at it, that the devil will work extra hard to find your sore spot and try to get you to fall one way or another. And boy, he was working extra hard on my hubby. You think about it, you think of some of the men in the ministry that's well known, that have fallen because of and been disgraced, I guess you'd say, with moral failures and money failures, whatever the case may be. And like I said, the devil works and finds that little spot, and he works on it, and he did on my hubby too. At this point, we had just celebrated our 19th anniversary. I won't go into whole details of everything that happened, but I've wrote my notes here, because when you feel like you're the odd person in the room, that really makes you feel like something is happening, and you better be kind of on the watch out for that. Let's just say that, as I've said before, the grass was always greener on the other side of the hill. And sometimes it doesn't work out, sometimes it does. But I'll just say this. At the end of a long night, spent the majority of that time in the emergency room because of my son breaking his arm, because of all the upset of what was to happen. And all the changes that was going to be coming on. My hubby brings me and my two children, 15 and 17, back to my hometown, to my parents. For all of us, that was a beginning of a new life, his and ours. And I will tell you, that was a total dark time in my life. When you have an uncertain future, you don't know what's going to happen. So many ways and living that you have done all this time is now a thing of the past, or you don't even know at that point. But I'm back at my parents' with my 2 children. What do? Of course, they took me in with open arms. Hubby went back up to his new life. I'm going to leave it there. Next time, I'll begin telling you some more of my story. And I appreciate you guys coming. This one it was a hard one for me. You don't know what to say. I don't know how I'm going to edit this video. This is going to be a hard one, but I want you to know, even after all this, God was with me, and you'll see that in my future stories. Stay tuned for the next one. Come back and join me and watch all my videos. I've got such variety. I hope you enjoy those. Be talking to you next time. Come join me. I post something almost every day. If it's not a regular video, it's a short. It's been a real blessing to me. And so I'm going to get into the next part of my life, and there's a lot more to tell you. God bless you so much, and come back and join me every time. Thank you so much, Kimmy, for hosting New to Me. Check it out, everyone. Thank you for watching. God bless you, and come back next time.